Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 2, The Damned. The recap and review. I am here tonight to talk about The Walking Dead. If you weren't here last week, Joe Dirty Locks will not be joining us tonight. He was going to be working every other week, but I'm going to be talking a little bit later about some guest hosts that we're going to be having throughout the alternate weeks. But I think what I'm hoping for is, because I'll get this right off the bat, get this out of the way right off the bat. I actually mostly enjoyed this episode of The Walking Dead. I think this was a step in the right direction. There were a lot of things in this episode I liked. So what I'm hoping is that I always get the decent episodes and then Joe gets all the ones with Negan in them and stuff. But ultimately, I did think this was a decent episode of The Walking Dead. I think it had some good, it had some bad, and we're going to get all into that in a second. But I'm not alone. I may be here talking by myself. It's been a while since I talked by myself, so I'm really encouraged to get out here, and I really need to fucking get a lot off my chest here about this episode of The Walking Dead, both good and bad. But I'm never alone when I have with me the live motherfucking chat. The live motherfucking chat. Here we go. We got Centovia Major. We got Nick motherfucking Diaz in there. This kicks the Talking Dead's ass. Thank you, Nick Diaz, and definitely fucking lots of love to Nick and the chat attack here. Am I the only one that watches but doesn't actually watch The Walking Dead? How have you been, Timo? Fucking great stuff. Great stuff in the live motherfucking chat right now. But everyone, we're going to get into this episode in a second. But like I said, I am not alone. I have the live motherfucking chat. So first off, let me get some of the good out of the way. I really like the action. I don't think necessarily everything was filmed well, but there were some really good scenes of some good back balls to the wall action from at the first half of the episode. I liked the tension and I liked the build up, like the energy that got brought in it for the most part, like the speed of which it kind of came at us. I liked the speed of which we were sitting there in the middle of the bukkake sandwich and in the speed of which it all shot out of us. I'm gonna take this fucking sweatshirt off. I'm already hot. Fucking A. I like that element of the episode. I like the quick cuts and tension, even though not all the music really synced up. Morgan going crazy and hearing voices. Did I hear some voices? Is someone inside my mind? Is someone telling me to be crazy? Ooh, I'm crazy! I like all of that. I thought that was done very effectively in this episode. Morgan, and as he interacts with other people. And when does Morgan turn on beast mode? I kind of enjoyed that from a certain standpoint on the show. And then, and so I definitely like that. Let's see. What else did I really like? I liked Rick and Daryl in this episode. I liked Rick for the most part, getting his walk on again, getting his Rick crimes, getting into a fist fight with someone and showing that. I like the thing at the end when we see Morales. We'll talk about that later. But what I didn't like was the Jesus morality play mixed in and everything in the middle of all this action-packed stuff where we're like, holy shit, yes, look at Morgan killing people, like destroying people, like not even Donatelloing people. I mean friggin' shreddering motherfuckers everywhere. He's the new Shredder. He's going around killing. It's fucking wonderful. I'm really liking Tara in this episode, like killing a lot of people. And then Jesus steps in. Well, we can't kill this guy. He's surrendering with his hands up. Because that's what we do when we're at war with these fucking people that have been killing us. And what the fucking bloody fuck? And I just thought it was an awkward moment to put in those kind of morality plays in that moment. Where I thought it worked, though, in the episode, is when Rick, later in the episode, goes and finds the kid and looks at the kid. And I mean, later we're supposed to assume that maybe that's more connected to Morales, but whatever. Just the fact that without saying much in the scene, Rick holds a baby, looks at what he did, and just shakes his head. I can't go there. Back to killing people. That's all you need. You don't need it shoved down your face and have Jesus go up on a soapbox and preach when people are retreating, that's what you do. We can't kill them. And even though it totally turned around on him, I'm glad that happened, at least to show the stupidity of it. But I don't even think you needed it in this episode. If you want to do that morality thing, show it to us in that moment. Don't make it this kind of like talky, kind of preachy thing. So so in some directions, I think the show is better with giving us balls to the wall action, but then we sandwich it with the surreal close-up angle thing to where this is before we have to do the Oreo cookie thing at the end where we have the one side of the cookie at the end and the middle of the stuff and then in the connect at the end like it's some deep season of Breaking Bad or something. No. Just be an action show. Just have fun, because when they're doing that, when we see just everyone rolling around killing people and shit, that's or killing walkers or whatever, like the action on The Walking Dead is where it's at for me from an entertainment standpoint. Whenever we get into the let's be a deeper show than we actually are is when things get the fucked up for me. And then you got thou art mortal, hath my halfling people, no victory loseth tonight, Donald Duck. And I'm trying to be warm up a little bit to Ezekiel, but I don't know. He takes me out of it every scene. And what helped in this episode was Carol's reactions, because I feel like she's giving the reaction of the audience dealing with this wingnut going all over the place, like, oh, thou art. And I think at moments in this, I saw how it could have got played a little bit better, where he's almost making fun of himself while he does it. But I can't help but fucking groan at him. And I think we're supposed to like him. And I think probably some people, I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I'm sure some people in the comment section or in the chat like Ezekiel and like that whole thing going on. So if you like him, fucking men to that. But he's supposed to be our, like everyone's like the way they're framing him, like he's a hero and everyone likes him and stuff like that. And I hope, I don't know, I'm a little weary and a little already worn down by his shtick. And I like it better when he's breaking out of the shtick. But whatever, that's just a taste thing. Let's go into the live motherfucking chat. We got, the Dawn of Ice and Fire. Great to see the Dawn in there right now. Timo in the live motherfucking chat. Casey Atheist, Wolf Gaming, Santovia Major. And lots of love to Nick Diaz. But Morgan turned into John Barenthal during the episode. Fucking Punisher and shit. I'm gonna fucking out of Rick. Cool. Fucking love Nick Diaz. I said it earlier, but if you haven't checked out the Midnight Chat Attack, check them out. Nick is fucking hilarious. Excellent host of that show. One of many, and lots of love to Nick, and lots of love to Double Toasted as well. Which, side note, the return of the not the co-host, the Sidekick 3000 probably made me happier than I've been in years. So any fans of the old Spill or Double Toasted, people that don't know what I'm talking about, like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I just have to celebrate for a moment the return for even one episode of the Sidekick 3K, the greatest of all podcasters. Anyways, I continue. Morales fucking lives. Hello, everyone. Great to see you in the live motherfucking chat. Episode 1 should have been extended to show all this stuff, says Dawn. I agree with that. Like, I was going to say that a little bit later, but excellent point, dude. The action level of this episode should have been the pacing of this episode should have been the same level of the pacing in the season premiere. Should have felt like this. Because at the beginning of this episode, trying to take notes, watching this, everything, I felt tense. The Walking Dead made me feel in this episode. And that's something I cannot say it did pretty much all last season. I cared about what was going on the screen when it was like, bam, 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 bam. And I think that should be the rhythm that they go for in this season, instead of that first episode being a little fart smelly, like let's get another walk, let's bring the walker back from episode 1, let's recreate this scene with Carl, yippee yo-ho ya fuck. Let's not worry about telling a great episode to bring people back from a subpar season where people, even big fans of The Walking Dead are a little down on it after season 7. So instead, in promising things for the 100th episode, I feel like this felt more like, okay, is this going to be the feel of the season? And when we got to scenes from next week's episode, I'm like, oh, it's just going to be more of the same frantic pace through all the rest of the episodes of at least this half a season. If they keep up this frantic pace through this whole back half, I think I'll feel a lot better about the show at that point than I do now, in the sense that I feel like it needs to keep changing gears. And I feel like it's been a little trapped since they've gotten to Alexandria with a little bit too much introspection and getting away from essentially what makes it a fun show on television, is seeing that level of action and character and all that sort of motherfucking crap. So anyways, let's scroll down. Morgan is either going to kill everybody or no one. He could use some fucking balance, says Casey Abram. Welcome, Juan Paulo. Welcome, CJ Ware. It's the classic Dawn of the Dead. Action. Anyone knows Phil has the same face as Ezekiel. They should have made an hour. Yeah. the 2 hour long to include this. I agree, Hannah Pie. Dawn says, Morgan was listening to Big Shaq before he went on the mission. The ting goes, Shrah! Kobe, how does my ass taste? No, different person. CJ, what's up? They should have made, anyone notice, let's see, if they get out of this and no guns, Daryl's going to go after Dwight and Rick may beat the living shit out of him. Timo says, co-host, motherfucker. Revenge, yes! It felt so good, dude. It felt so fucking. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm fangirling a little bit over Tony, but anyways, Wolf Gaming, I agree. Let's go. I'm tugging on my peculiar. It deserves a drop. So I think just in general, this was a much better of a premiere. If again, for people that just want to hear a quick review and don't want to get into the whole recap and all that bullshit, quick review. Good episode, good action, like the frantic pace, like the bouncing over from story to story. I'm not going to be one that's going to complain about multiple things. I don't mind single off episodes where they focus on one story or two stories, but for this season right now, when you have this many characters and you're having this war kind of thing, the pacing of this episode where all the multiple areas and going from point to point, never to kind of dwell too long in one area, I thought worked really well. I know there's still a whole gang of characters we didn't even talk or deal with tonight, but I think that's okay as long as you constantly make things interesting and don't slow the brakes right now. Season 7 had a lot of slowing the brakes, and because I think they got addicted to that in the previous season when they did a couple of one-off episodes that felt really good to do that, so they kind of went to that well and cut, oh, we're a deeper show than we are. Oh, we're just as deep as Better Call Saul. Sure we are. Yeah, you are. So sure you are, guys. But so I think getting back to your roots of action, I still think in general the show needs a new showrunner and kind of some new fresh energy in there to kind of look at these characters in a interesting way. If we continue, as we continue on, I think a show like this isn't necessarily benefited from having the same people work on it forever. I think if you bring in a couple people, maybe even people to do a single season that have kind of like a vision of a story from the graphic novel that they want to do on screen, be like, oh, fucking, I don't know, I'm just throwing fucking stupid names out. Hi, Wes Craven. Hey, I'd love to do a season of The Walking. I'm not saying, I'm just pulling Wes Craven's name out of my ass or something like that, not because I necessarily want to see him do that. Or, hey, Frank Darabont, why don't you come back for a season or something? Or for an episode or something. Not that that would ever fucking happen. But so I think that's where we're at with The Walking Dead. But this is episode, I don't want to just straight up like piss on it to piss on it. This was a good episode of The Walking Dead for what it is right now. And I don't even mean for what it is right now. This is probably one of my most, I like this episode better than most of season 7, if for whatever that's worth. And I like the feel of this and the energy of it. And if they can keep this up, get a little bit dirtier and darker, or a little bit funnier and kookier at times too, and over the topness of the comedy of errors of what the situation is, then I think we might be on to at least a fun watch. As I sip my beer out of a straw. Simply negating everything else I've ever said. So let's continue. There are two types of shows, those that start out strong and fizzle out, and those that build up strong and have strong ratings and end at the bang. More smashing that like button. Thank you, Phil. You were fucking amazing. Ren says, for your information, The Walking Dead Season 8 premiere ratings dropped 33% from last year. Holy shit. Does anyone actually believe Tara's a badass? It just fakes me out of the show, says Generic. I did not mind Tara in this episode, but I think it was by default because Jesus was pissing me off too much. Michael Bay should direct an episode. Wolf Gaming, I'm totally on board with that. Bang, boom, blah, blah. Hey guys, I have a total great idea for a Walking Dead episode. Go. My idea for the Walking Dead episode. We're gonna have the Ninja Turtles come in. They're gonna have the Transformers, and they're gonna have the Walking Dead. It's gonna be robots versus turtles versus zombies. What do you think?
Will it make us money?
I'll totally make us money. So it will happen. Here we go. I heard Philippine Stranger Things as a manager of the arcade. Hey, Big A, get me the job. Get me the fucking job. Big Sexy. Great to see you, Big Sexy. They should have let Morgan kill that scumbag savior. And why does Tara's comic relief even... why does Tara's comic relief ever try to intimidate... Does it ever intimidate anybody? No! It doesn't! This show needs a proctor, John and his gang. This is the worst season, was the farm season, says Ahmed. I'm with Santovio and Majors. My ovaries were tingly when Rick choked that guy and threw him in the pool. We need some explosions over here. We need some, and then you need some, and then I'm gonna have some like heavy music like this to go like this and go. Recap. Recap. Sorry if that was really loud. Recap. Okay. Good. Not a bad recap song, but I'm gonna make fun of myself in the dismount there. That was a stumble out of it. I stumbled out of it at the end. So everybody, I do want to say also, I'm drinking this beer right now. This is the new Game of Thrones beer called Winter is Here. This is not a sponsorship, but I would happily do one. So, Gang, if you're watching, send me more. This is very good. I don't like it necessarily as much as Bend the Knee, but it is pretty good. It's I've only had a little bit, so give me some time. I'm by no means a beer expert, but yes, I am serving it ice cold. Anyways, we need more Vikings. Vikings coming soon, end of November. Yummy. Okay. So let's get into this recap. The bottle is fucking awesome. They are in your stores right now. You can use the Gang Beer Finder to find them. They also come in the 2-pack gift pack. I haven't got the gift pack yet, but I'm going to be looking for it. That comes with a reissue of the Fire and Blood from a few years ago. So they have the ice and the fire. This is the bottle right now. It is called a Double White Ale. And it has a shit ton of alcohol. No, what is it? It's like 8.3 alcohol percentage. 8.3. So, Gang, it's good. Delicious. Game of Thrones fans, get yourself some. Motherfuckers. Okay, so let's continue. Ivar is the Walking Dead. So we open up on Rick's face, and I've also forgot to mention, if anyone wants to call in and leave a voicemail, you can do that. We'll listen to the voicemails at the end of the show at 781-990-8509, 781-990-8509. You can also text that number if you have any specific questions that I'm not getting to in the live chat or a specific comment you want to get in. Love to take calls. We'll make sure to get to all the voicemails in text by the end of the night if we get any. That is okay. No motherfucking worries. So we open up on Rick's face, in the close-up, he looks confused, and he's with Daryl, who looks smelly, and they both look on to see Ezekiel, who's on the ground, which I really, really like, and someone's going, dude, shut the fuck up, though, and he's just going, thou art put me on the groundeth, I get uppeth. And then we see Carol, who looks like she's hurting too. And then Jesus, we see all of our players. Then we see Tara not with a lollipop anymore. And Morgan's face from one to another over to Aaron. Ivar is looking really angry because he's going to choke out his fucking... and then he's looking very serious. And then it's war, Peacock. There's going to be some casualties. There's war. And so we see some folks... random saviors working on some guns. I think the character's name is Francine, who's really a fucking awesome mini boss villain. I love her. She's fucking great in her job, and she's loving every second. She's one of those people that you can tell is just eating up the scenery of loving being a bad guy as a savior. She's like, ha, you motherfuckers, listen to this shit.
It's only like a dozen. Yeah, I mean...
Huck, relieve Todd at the maintenance station.
Hey, Mara.
Shut up. Give me your gun. How does that feel?
It feels...
Shut up.
You feel like a bitch?
Go inside, get the cooler, start packing up.
What does Mouse... Tell me what Mouse Solus Wallace looks like!
Sorry.
Go.
Get out. So anyways, we see like some savior groups doing their training for war. We get a little behind the scenes with the saviors. She calls one of them in the walkie-talkie, doesn't get any answers, but eventually gets answered. Then eventually we get bam, the fight is on. Anyways, so we get some cars pulling up and the gunfight goes on. The gunfight does not stop for the entire episode. So it's our strike force team is there. So, Timo's comment at this point in the episode Timo said, so last episode we didn't want to kill the saviors because we didn't want to seem like savages, but now we're just killing the saviors. So we come back in and we see some walkers and just know that that's all they're going to be in the background. And then Jesus speaks. Jesus, tell us something. What do you got to say, Jesus? Jesus.
Looks like they made themselves a moat. Guess we shouldn't be surprised, considering.
We can do this. We did before.
Yeah, that's what I was considering.
I wasn't here before. Just need a clear shot, right, Diane?
Just a few seconds.
So we just need to time it right.
So Morgan's talking to some dead people.
They see us. They fire a gun. We're not getting in.
Oh, Timo, you're too kind. You know, never have to, but always appreciated. Timo in the live motherfucking chat with the super chat donation. She says, "Thou shalt donate, so thou art get drunketh. Thy king and thy princess, my motherfuckers," and to always say, what the fuck, dude? Timo. No, it landed on that one. It landed on Joe. Tell me something that annoys you. Well, Joe isn't here with us tonight. Theoretically, he may, if he's listening, leave us a voicemail from work. So we don't have Joe to tell him something that annoys us. So let me play Hachu. It goes to Phil Drink. So here we go, Timo. It's for you. Fuck the straw. And Timo, you donated 20, so you get 2 spins of the wheel. So here we go, get another spin of the wheel as we start up. Now, we come back in and we see some walkers and shit like that. And
Don't let him fire a gun, Diane.
Morgan says, I don't want anyone else to die. No one else should go in there because me, I can't die. I'm fucking, you can't fucking kill me. I'm trained by the cheese master himself. He might have died, but I can't die. I have the superpower. I can dodge bullets. I'm so crazy that death comes up to me and I go, fuck you, motherfucker. So don't worry about me. I'm okay. How's the walking shit show this season, says Eli. Great to see Eli in the live motherfucking chat. Spin, and drink. So we continue. We find Morgan does not die. He never dies. So then we go back over to Carol and Ezekiel, and they're in the fog, and they come up from an attack, and all hell's breaking loose. The walkers are coming, and a random group of walkers come out, and they're building up. Carol shoots at them, and this is some good action. I'm really liking this. It's kind of filmed a little wonky, but I still like it. It's really fun. Ezekiel says something stupid, and then all the people go, "Protect the king!" Excuse me, but it's a good fight, a lot of gore. Someone sees them, and Carol is worried.
If he tells them we're here, it's over before it started.
It is not, and he won't. But we together will find him, end him, and fulfill the promise of what we have begun. Trust the king.
Outpost is due north, to the woods.
As that's surely his course, so shall it be ours.
What?
If our comrades had already arrived, they'd have been here.
You got song. Sorry, music world. Here we go. Ezekiel. You don't wear a thing if you don't trust the thinging. You better take off your clothes, Carol. It's time for the king. The king is coming. The king is coming. And his tiger's gonna jump all over you. Purr, motherfucker. Get yourselves ready. The king is fucking coming. You better trust the king. It's good to be the king.
It's good to be the king.
Okay, sorry. That wasn't perfect, but you did land on song, and I'll also honor you with another drink, Miss Timo. Lots of love. Let's listen to more of this shit.
Turn to the staging area. Gather the others when they land. And if they haven't yet, release Shiva from her cage. Due north. We'll leave a trail for you. Ensure no enemies remain in these environments and be not 10 minutes behind. Go. Onward! Woo! To our foe, then to his compound, then to certain victory.
And then to certain victory. So I love Carol's expressions towards this guy. I like it all for the most part. I don't like how he wins her over by the end. But I guess if you're out there and you're dealing with it, this guy is so I'm not even gonna say genuine with about like so committed to his part. It's gonna go to a lot of points in your mind if you're actually out there dealing with somebody like this. It's gonna go annoyed. I kind of respect. He's keeping this shit up. He's like, what the fuck? He's still going with it? Like, there's no stopping this? He's not going to stop ever, is he? And then he just keeps it up. He keeps it up. So, and then Carol starts thinking, possibilities. Or it's sort of like a drug or something. But I too, as Timo just said, I just want Carol just to tell him to shut the fuck up. She kind of did last season, but now she's more just telling him with her eyes and the way he's trying to win her over with expressions or coming out of it every once in a while with a little aside here and there. I don't know. Like, I'm not feeling it as much as I think the show wants me to feel it, and it wasn't my favorite section of the episode, although I did like Carol a lot, that they're featuring her more in a more active role rather than being stuck with a little bit of crybaby-itis and being like, oh, woe it's me, I can't kill, I'm in the zombie apocalypse, I can't kill, like all that sort of shit. Like okay, I'm glad she's over that. You know, we've separated enough time between the episode where she kills everybody and that, so she's a little underpowered just from time. And we're at war, so it's a big battle. So we can let Carol be Carol again for a little bit. And I don't mind. At least it distills a little bit of the cheesy factor of Ezekiel having Carol there eye rolling him the whole time. TCG Access. These writers are so fucking bad. The Saviors shot a dude that were with Morgan, yet they don't shoot them and Morgan in the head so they don't turn to zombies. What the actual fuck? I added what the actual fuck, but if I had a choice to listen to King Eli for a week or become a walking buffet for the dead, or Ezekiel, I would choose the dead. DJ Benatari, that's occasional but only with Carol. In the comics, wasn't it Michonne that had a friendship with Ezekiel and not Carol? I believe so. I like it when it's a joke and it's funny, but they try to make it serious with the music. Like, get the fuck out of here. Add that to the wheel. You talk like King Ezekiel. Your eyes just be, thou art knoweth that I have to fighteth. Do you fucketh? I fucketh good. I am King Ezekiel. Not mentioneth my bullshitteth. Thou hawk my testicles sky with the pizza pouch in the eyes of my eye. Flip flop. Diggity dop. Dig dug in. My dig dug is soft. Thou art know that Ezekiel go. We cut back to thou'th gunfight with the strike force. We see thou Tobin, large warrior from the Alexandria. And we see Aaron. We see a whole big fight. Then we go off to Rick and Daryl as they come into a house and they kill some dudes with the cool. I think this is where we get into. I bet it's the same team, but maybe they have different units working on different things. Everything with Rick and Daryl was shot very tight, and I really liked how all of it looked. Right from the beginning when we see the house and we see the blood splat on the walls. I realized another thing. What made this episode one of my favorite in a while was it was low on dialogue. A lot of it was silent and just the action going on from back and forth. We didn't get trapped by the shitty Walking Dead dialogue writing that actually exists in this. If it actually is a thing, that when the characters talk, you're just like, I don't want any of it. And I think this episode got away from that to a certain extent because it was action driven. So that's probably part of why I really liked about it. As far as we are on the show, do you feel the comics did this particular portion of All Out War better, or you prefer the show's interpretation more? I'm a little bit more familiar, obviously, with I'm more familiar with the show than what the comics did. I'm more familiar with the graphic novel up to issue 100, not so much 100 and on. I'm not as familiar with it, but from my approximation of at least reading updates and talking to people that have read it, it works better. The context of this works better, but I will wait to see how it is at the end of everything. Like, if they can, listen to me. I keep wanting to give what the fuck are you doing? You're fucking stupid. I know I'm fucking stupid. I keep trying to give the show a chance. It's because they fucked me good a couple times. They made me go, ooh, 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 ooh. And because they made me go, they can fuck up, they can do anything they want to me, and they can just come on, Phil, I'm sorry. They just run down the hall with a flapping fucking Glenn flopping off their peen and be like, hey, Phil, I'm sorry. We fuck them, right? We fuck them, but we make love to you sometimes, and if you're gonna let a fuck. So I think I'm a little bit I'm always a little bit more partial to visual medium because I'm stupid and that's how because that's just my go-to. But I think in general, everything Negan and War and Kingdom and all of that related, I think in this particular arc, from my approximation of it and understanding of it, the books handled it a little bit better. So the action sequence seems poorly executed. They should hire a director from Miami Vice movie or anybody. I wish the shows and comics had an endpoint. I don't like it keep going and going and going and going and going. Who knew the Walking Dead fans' reward code? I'm not sure. I didn't see it tonight. As shows show too much talking, more drawn out, comics go faster, so it seems more intense, says Timo, to answer Nick's question. And yes, less dialogue, the better. They start talking. Those were the bad fucking parts. Killing zombies for 8 seasons. What the fuck, man? Fucking crazy shit. I relate to the analogy way too much, but hanging Glenn off the pee. Yeah, with the floppy Glenn coming off their pee and going, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Fucked you, yes we did. Fucked you, yes we did. But a couple of seasons ago, when Rick bit off the face, we made love to you. And if you're going to let this little fuck up come between our love, you got another thing coming, Phil. You got to talk about the show anyway. Find things to like about it. And I mean, to continue on that route, I might have been starving for a long time, and they handed me a fucking cracker here of an action-packed episode, and that's why I'm like loving it so much. But we will see, and we'll see how much Joe Dirtylocks yells me down next week and see what he thought about this episode as well. And like to hear, we obviously love hearing what you guys have to say in the live motherfucking chat. Yeah, it's a vampire dick. So does anyone pay for AMC Prime? It allows you to not have to watch commercials during the show like The Walking Dead. That would be fucking awesome. I might watch. That'd be worth it to me for something like Better Call Saul for me, just because I want to like watch it bang bang bang. Anyway, so then we go off to a one-off scene with Rick in the Daryl's group coming into the house and killing a bunch of dudes. Good camera work in this particular scene. They're looking for some guns. So then we go back outside and we see the savior leader being like to her number one guy, Scotty, give me some options on how to get out of here. Wait, I just did no. Captain, we don't have a lot of options to get out of here. Those are the most horribly inconsistent accents. If I was a superhero, I would be bad accent man. Coming you from Boston, it is the Bard. Yes, it is. Action. Back accent, man. Fighting people with good diction. And fighting good pronunciators. Whatever you want to call them. Careful you be. I am bad accent, man. Oh, fuck. Nick Kurt says, this is my opinion, but one reason why I didn't like The Walking Dead is that it's running along while in a movie it has a start, middle, and end. Movie is one story, TV is stretched. See, that's why I like TV shows that have not set endings, but at least each season is an individual story within itself and can kind of encapsulate and then be a bigger season. Like when I'm talking about something like The Sopranos or Oz, where they were bigger, longer stories, but each season was an individual story unto itself. I think no one knew this better than another AMC show. And yes, here we go. Here's where I get down on my hands and knees and literally put Vince Gilligan's balls in my mouth. The creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, Vince Gilligan, who I think should make all shows. He said of Breaking Bad, 5 seasons is what I want to do. You know, I don't want to go too far to go past the point where my story lays. And I think on some point, that it hurts you after a while if you keep going and you don't necessarily have that end point, because stories, whether it be a long form miniseries type production or a movie, I tend to like miniseries stuff, like a good television series that has that beginning, middle, and end. The Walking Dead, some of the early seasons maybe due to a certain extent, but I think if you look at The Walking Dead as a whole, it's just a hodgepodge of trying to keep it together with no fucking direction. It just feels like the writers or whatever the direction of the show are just spinning their wheels. And I mean, maybe that's the point, or they would argue from an intellectual standpoint.
Well, technically, that's the point. What we're trying to do is elicit the mundaneness of life after society breaks down.
Yeah, you know what I say to that? Like, okay, be thought-provoking and entertaining at the same time, and actually feel like something is mobile, not stagnant. Because I think that's the thing with entertainment. People want, if you do a show year after year and you keep going, and it's not something that's a set tale that people know where it ends because they understand the endpoints of things, you want to feel like at least things are moving. And not so much, and I like sitcoms too. I like sitcoms where everything exists in a bubble and continues over the years. If a sitcom's good, something like Cheers, something like How I Met Your Mother, Wonder Years, I'm just trying to think of other, Arrested Development. Like, sitcoms can be very good. But The Walking Dead is not that. It's something that should constantly be moving and evolving and heading towards some gigantic conclusion. And I think that's where you get a sense of tension. And even if a story isn't necessarily great and you don't have all the excellent story points or have like a complete like crazy writer's room with these deep stories, if you can constantly have this propelling kind of feeling of the story moving forward towards something, you can get people excited about it. And I think what's happening with The Walking Dead right now, even when it's good, it's like, okay, where is it going? Where is it going? Did anybody, I want you to call in right now and leave a voicemail if you thought Rick is in any danger in this situation. But they leave this off in a cliffhanger for the episode that Rick's in danger. Come on. Like it's the same old shit. In, out, in, out, in, out. Anyways, let's go into the live motherfucking chat. Yeah, but some things end too early, like Game of Thrones could. I agree with that, Jay. Excellent point. Because it has so much source material that they could have based on. It seems like in that situation, the writers or the show creators, again, got sick of what they're doing and want to move on as their star is high and they want to be able to do as many passion projects as they can while they're famous show creators right now. So they're eager to finish off the series, coupled with whatever problems they're having with the writer that's working on something that may or may not be stalling just to spite them. I mean, who knows what's happening with all of that? So there should be an endpoint instead of the show getting canceled without resolution. That's just my theory. We have Fear of the Walking Dead crossover stuff. I mean, they could have already done a lot more fucked up shit in the first 3 seasons of the show than half the other cast. I would need some Alf. Nick says, yes, I'm not a hater of the TV shows, but if you don't have a good story and characters, then why should I give a shit every week? Unless it's a show that sets the I don't give a shit every week rules up. And for me, it's all about, I can get as much enjoyment out of watching an episode of Saved by the Bell or fucking like, or some other shitty show or Full House or some fucking crap as I can get watching something really good if my mind's in that place and I'm accepting it for that. But when Full House tries to step out of itself, and do this like deeper story than the show is, you're like, no, stop. Don't be that. Be the show you are. And that's not trying to evolve. I'm not saying not to try to evolve, but television shows aren't like people that you should strive to be more and all that fucking crap that Ezekiel and Jesus would tell me. Like, no, this is a television show. The goal is to be entertaining. You know, like tell a good story, evolve the characters, be honest to it. And I think the same thing could be said about a movie. I think movies fall easier into that 3-act structure, and sometimes television shows, especially drama television shows, can just Miranda, is that a word? Meander all around. Chip Chipperson, love you, Chip Chipperson. The characters in The Walking Dead are WWE quality nothings. Who gives a shit? They grunt and act moody. I'm not giving a shit. While everyone cheers and oohs and fucking ahs. What the fuck? DJ Better, they already showed us the preview that Rick will get captured. Shit episode says Kylo Ren's in the live motherfucking chat. We better be good or he's gonna force choke my ass. They did the same thing to Daryl last season. We know they're not going to kill him, so what the fuck? I don't know. Chris Hardwick was like, oh my God, what's going to happen to Rick? What's going to happen to Eric? Let's find out. Is your heart beating as much as mine is? Let's get into this on the next Phil the Issues Guy show. Here we go. That baby's got a gun in that crib. That baby's selling fucking weed. And then I go, baby, why are you selling the weed? Nick motherfucking Diaz. Unfortunately, the point Oh shit, scroll up. Unfortunately, the point of the show, the goal of the characters is survival. The problem is survivability is passive as fuck. It's not tangible and it's not constant. It's constant until it's not. And then if there is no survival, there's no show. I agree with that. And that's why there needs to be that's why I don't lobby for a cure or something, but there needs to be a bigger thing that I don't even know what that they can do. Like, I'm not smart. If anyone has any possible amazing suggestions about how they could think The Walking Dead could end, but I think there needs to be some universal thing. And I mean, we tried that a little bit with Abraham. There is no cure. There is no anything. I mean, how could they propel it to an end? They've kind of dug themselves in some corners by doing the Brenner thing in season 1 that wasn't included in the comics. They could have waited to do that Brenner thing till much later on and made it a bigger thing and made some sort. And I'm not saying a cure is the only goal, as it's sort of a cliche of zombie, oh, the cure, we need the fucking cure. But at least it would be something or some way of establishing an end game with the characters, an end game of I don't know. It's a tough situation the show's in right now, because I know it's tough being because they are bleeding ratings like a sieve. People are getting bored, and it's getting to that almost later half of the Simpsons point at times where people are just like, okay, show pales. And even if they did a good episode, a lot of people are just gonna be like, yeah, well, okay, so what do I care? Where the fuck is this going? Savor the Bell is wait, Phil, Savor the Bell is a shitty show? Cancel The Walking Dead, says Kylo Ren, or he's going to choke some motherfuckers. 1998 champions, great to see you, motherfucker, in the live chat. Sorry, I'm late. Hello to the motherfucking chat. Tari Dead. Apparently the actor who played Minkus in Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World is in this episode. Anyone know who he plays? I did not see him. Nicholas, not to be that guy, but I stopped watching the show a while back. What's the consensus over here for this latest one? Nicholas, I think this is better than the first episode. I enjoyed it more than most of season 7, but I think the show, unfortunately, is still spinning its wheels, and at times I'm more talking myself into caring than really caring. But I have to say, this episode did a good job of at least building up the tension in me. And I was kind of emotionally drained from other shows I was watching earlier today and binge watched this weekend that I may or may not talk about a little bit at the end of this podcast. But so I was in a place that, like, I needed a change up. I needed something that wasn't like depthy at all. And they kind of got me. And while I was watching it, I was invested in the action and the tension of the moment. So good on them. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not crazy about The Walking Dead in the sense that I think it's fucking back tonight. But I think if they head more down this road, there's potential for something decent, or at least getting enjoyable experiences out of each episode. Take it out of the writer's hands as much as possible. Give it to the special effects, give it to the directors, give it to the actors playing these visual aspects and not having to fall into these horrible dialogue situations that they get into. And why would they keep... awesome, Jay, I'll get to that in a little bit. Tim F., great to see you, guy. Timo says, and we repeat with the new villains. Now we're repeating with the Morales guy. Is Precious next to him next season? All the fucking Morales, man, says Tim F. We need zombie creatures that aren't necessarily dead humans where they gave to fight against. We need some whites. We need a polar bear. The Morales is fan service bullshit, says Timo, and I don't usually use that word often, but fuck that. Let's pretend. Love you, Kylo Ren. I think he was put in the season to have Rick connect back to let me take you back to the past to try to forget about some shitty things in season 7's past. That doesn't work. That just didn't work. So, for instance, liquor, zombies are fucking, fuck it, bring Nemesis. I like the ideas of groups getting together and getting bigger and bigger to the point where you get small countries. And I mean, I guess you could, and then you could kind of fast forward through times and see generations and all that sort of shit. But anyways, so back into the episode, we go over to Morgan, who's playing Walker Whisperer and drawing a crowd that set the Saviors off balance, and he gets them trapped. Fun Morgan stuff. Not much. And then we see Tara, Strike Team, and Jesus head in to with Morgan, and they look and they nod and they kill some motherfuckers. Then we get some dude who Morgan's just like, shut your fucking mouth. Who's like, who's like, I'm gonna fucking kill Rick's kid and fuck you. And Morgan's like, die, bitch. Rick comes in and him and Daryl get through their plan and talk some stuff. Here we go.
Good cover. Yeah, I'd put him up there too. Stairs.
So we get lots of fun, a lot of more fun action going back and forth with this shit. Daryl and Rick do kick fucking ass. And Timo said at this point, I actually feel tense and worried. Well, not too worried. They won't kill anyone too important. And I don't care about the people that are going to die. And Chalk Boy says, me too. It's what seemed like they promised for last week but didn't deliver. So then we see the Saviors and dealing with their shit.
They're too chicken shit to move in on us. We push them back. Go!
Nick Diaz, I fucking love him. I don't know if anyone's seen the Polybius Angry Video Game Nerd Halloween special, but if anyone hasn't seen it and you're a fan of the nerd and haven't checked him out in a while, definitely check that out. It's fucking great. Fucking great. Love the fucking nerd. Lots of love to fucking Cinemassacres. Fucking amazing shit. So, okay, there's a lot of gunfight in this gunfire and endless bullets. Unlimited bullets, as someone said in the chat. So, they finally make a big play to head in the rooms of someone inside, and they head in the strike force, and they shoot some dude in the bed. Everyone's on site. We see Aaron and his ex trade glances, and I think his ex had already, Eric, I think his name is, had already been shot. They run around, and they're shaking Morgan, starts going with crazy dude and intense music, and then we some red shirt guys get shot, and it looks like Morgan might have got killed too. And then we get this commercial.
Up. When walkers keep you up. When Negan keeps you up. When Walking Dead fandom keeps you up, ZQuil helps you fall asleep fast.
This is why The Walking Dead is falling off. Simply because it's like, oh, how many times can we sell it? Merchandising. We're putting The Walking Dead into the commercials now.
When walkers keep you up. When Negan keeps you up.
Have a good night, DJ.
When Walking Dead fandom keeps you up, ZQuil helps you fall asleep fast.
This is not an advertisement for Z-Pro, and then watch me get flagged for this fucking Z-Pro. You're not flagged, fucking, you're doing a Z-Pro commercial. I'm not doing a fucking Z-Pro commercial. But that's part of the problem. I know this has nothing to do with the episode, but it bothered me enough to fucking tape it. Now Z-Pro's getting sponsored. Like The Walking Dead, you're not making enough fucking money. You have to like have Z-Pro license out your property, or maybe it's an AMC thing. I don't fucking know. But seriously, like no shit, you're Z-Proing this stuff. There was another one later in the episode too. I forget what the other one was, but there was like another, like a brand that actually had The Walking Dead advertising in the commercial. I don't know why it bothered me. Maybe I'm naive, but like, come on, you're not making enough money. You need to do, with all the merchandising you guys do, like, seriously, I can get The Walking Dead on anything. I could get The Walking Dead insignia on my fucking coffin if I fucking wanted to, and I'd have to pay $9.99 to fucking AMC. You guys aren't making enough. You're selling it to fucking Z-Pro. Motherfucker. I thought it was a joke at first. I thought it was like, like gonna come off like, oh, we're just kidding. Nothing can help you in the zombie apocalypse. And it was just going to be like an AMC promo. But nope. Motherfucker. Fuck you. You just don't need it. But I know some people are going to probably be like, dude.
Phil, that's kind of a weak thing to bitch about. I mean, the whole goal of entertainment is to make money.
Yeah, but there's like a fine line between making money and making it like disgusting. Because yes, money is part of the entertainment landscape. We can't deny it. It's a fucking part of it. I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna stick my fucking...
Well, Phil, you are kind of stupid.
Well, I'm not, like, I understand this. Sorry for saying I'm not stupid. Okay, I am stupid, but I fucking get it, okay? But all I'm saying is that it's that extra step you don't need to go. It's, that one extra layer that be like, what's it really matter? I mean, we're not doing quite enough advertising for The Walking Dead, like during The Walking Dead. I know we have that like Talking Dead show where we advertise like 75 times how awesome we are, like during it, right afterwards. And we throw like 75 promos for The Walking Dead, like in the episode too. But I'm not sure if people know how much like The Walking Dead's awesome. So let's put it in a fucking commercial too. I just think it's a fucking step too far. Fuck you. I fucking hate yogurt. Dude Man says this was one of my favorite episodes. I was saying that a little bit earlier, Dude Man, that this is definitely one of my favorite since like comparatively to like I think I liked it more than most of season 7. I'm more annoyed at the fucking Lisa mattress commercial. Yeah, it's the same commercial for every episode of The Walking Dead in Fear for the past 3 years. Reminds me of yogurt and Spaceball. Merchandising. I know the people are like, oh, there's a Game of Thrones Jon Snow vibrator, Phil. I don't know if that's licensed. I don't know if HBO's given the permission. Permission for that one. The Negan dildo. Get Lucille. Jay says, if I was in entertainment, I would try to be disgusting as possible. You can sleep on piles of money. Okay, Jay. All I'm saying is The Walking Dead can already sleep on their piles of money. They don't need to go that extra far. They already got the big bin like Scrooge McDuck, and they're all swimming in it. Okay, they're so rich that they're like suing each other for like little pieces of the extra. Like fuck you, like they're Scrooge McDuck levels at this point. Anyways. So, are we seriously on this? This is not what we do things. This is the whole plot in season 7. Mark, great to see you, buddy. Tima's like, I just came back in to hear something about a Negan dildo. What's going on? What's going on? Coming to you from the makers of the Jon Snow dildo. Now you get Negan's Lucille. For all your pleasure needs. Each one of the spikes is actually a vibrating, rotating wheel to give you that extra level of pleasure. It's shit my pants time. Well, not shit your pants time. It's another kind of time. It's business time. Is it Wednesday already? Touch me in the right places. Ooh, ah. Okay, sorry guys. Oh, I'm sorry. What the hell is going on? Sorry, I'm hearing something on repeat. I started hearing voices there for a second. What the fuck is that sound? If you could choose to sponsor for your podcast, who would it be? I'm not sure. That's a good fucking question. If I could choose any sponsor, it would be whatever that sound that's going in my ears right now to stop.
We're anxious to hear your...
Excuse me for a second. I don't know if you guys could hear that. I started like getting voices. I thought I was Morgan there for a second and I was going crazy. I started to hear all these voices in my head going crazy. I don't know where it's coming from. I know. Don't forget to shop for your Negan dildo on the Amazon link. It's good for you. I don't even know where the shit that was coming from. That's fucking scary. Anyways, ask me later. So then we see Oh, you guys could hear it too? You guys couldn't hear it? You heard something too. You guys can't hear the voices.
First we find Hulk on Sakaar when Thor enters the Colosseum for gladiatorial Thor's gleeful surprise.
Clear!
The reigning champion of the...
Clear! I'm not even sure. Oh, I know exactly where it's coming from. Holy shit. I know, I figured it out. So what I just played a second ago was was voices. Was voices from that situation. I know people are like, oh, okay, get off the fucking voices. But that's funny. What I was hearing was from this. I found it. From an old trailer review that I was doing. That was just weird. I turned up this volume.
What do you think?
And I just started hearing the voices. Yeah, he was talking about Ragnarok and shit like that. So sorry about that, everyone. Sorry for the break of the action. So I continue. So then we see a commercial about a red machete, which I'm like, I don't fucking care. Just leave the red machete alone. Stop it. And then we continue. We see Rick and Daryl climbing up an elevator shaft together, and they talk about their shared love. And let's get a little Rick and Daryl to give me a break to figure out the rest of this sound. Rick, Daryl.
I'm not one of them. My name's Dean.
Why are you still talking?
Tara. Wait. Just wait.
You pissed your pants.
Last floor. The gun's gotta be up here. He said they'd be here. Everything else he passed you was checking out. The guy's a piece of shit. Those guns get to the sanctuary, they could cut through those walkers and free up an exit. We'll go faster if we split up. I find the M2s, you find them, we use them. Hit the courtyard right then and there. In this way.
So that was that. I'm glad that you guys actually heard it in the background because that was going on. Like I suddenly started hearing that shit in my voice, in my ears. I didn't think I was going crazy, but I that moment when you're looking at your computer and you're like, where the fuck is the sound coming from? And you just start like frantically closing windows and shit. Someone says, sounds like a Ragnarok review. Actually, it's really good. Tari Dad says, I like the red machete better than last year's story. It's kind of interesting to see all the hands Rick's machete passed through. That is kind of cool. I haven't really been following it. I kind of just yada-yada'd that there. But hello, Justin Higgins. Great to see you. Nicholas says, as an aside, Ragnarok was awesome. Iron Throne says, ghosts, stop voices. Stop voices. I'm glad you guys fucking hear that. I agree with Jesus to an extent. In war, you need to take prisoners ever so awesome. But fuck the pee pants guy. He blew his fucking chance. Your money can always get your money bin can always get bigger. Phil, Scrooge McDuck would be disappointed in you. It can always get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So then we go over to Jesus and Tara and some dude that pissed his pants, pee-pee pants style. And let's listen to a little bit of that.
Look, you pissed your pants.
I'm not one of them. My name's Dean.
Why are you still talking?
Tara. Wait. Just wait.
For what?
He has his hands up, Tara.
We have a job to do.
You wanna go check that out? We're missing some people from the other team.
Morgan?
So she asks if Morgan died, and Morgan did not die, but we don't know at that point. So we get Tara, who is like, get your gun over there, and Jesus is like, I'm not going to shoot a guy with his hands up. And this turns into a whole thing for a little while.
Lady, I'm not one of them.
You're here. You had a gun. You are one of them.
I'm not. You gotta believe me.
Then what are you doing here?
I'm just a worker. They brought me from the sanctuary to cook, clean, whatever. They did not give me a choice. They made me leave my wife and kids. You people do this at the sanctuary too? Family's okay?
We don't want to hurt the workers. We're not going to.
You believe him?
It's not about him. I'm not going to shoot someone with their hands up, and I'm not letting you.
These medical supplies. They're the Hilltops, right? Maggie's prenatals? They took them because they could. Because they don't give a shit, so why should we?
I know they killed your girlfriend.
Jesus.
That you loved her. This isn't you.
I hate that. I hate when people use those things. Like, it isn't about her girlfriend dying. This is about getting the mission done in this situation. And she's just looking at it a little bit differently than you. Don't use someone's tragedy. But go, you're only thinking this way because people died. No, I'm thinking this way because I'm actually not thinking like an idiot, Jesus. And this shows that you're thinking like a moron. You're thinking too emotionally. You're thinking too empathetically in this situation. You're facing off against people that are trying to kill you, and he's looking for any opportunity to fuck you in this situation, which ultimately ends the case. I'm sorry. I'm a fucking hippie. you know, when it really comes down to it. But ultimately, fuck that shit in this situation when you're in a fucking strike force against people. Some prisoners are okay, but in this situation and people where someone said, yeah, some prisoners in some situations is all right, if it makes sense. But in this situation with this guy right here, if you're getting a bad vibe on him, like there's no reason. And then to top it all off, they don't kill him after he fucks them over and he just knocks him out. Excuse me. I hope Jesus gets killed by this guy later in the season. That's the only possible solution to the situation that I'll be happy with. If Jesus kills somebody, if this dude ends up killing Jesus, Tara, or somebody that Jesus cares about. Because this was fucking stupid.
Ow.
I'm not here for revenge. It can't be about that.
It can.
It's just in this situation, you're in a strike force, killing all the people, ascertaining the guns, taking this place down, and this guy just can't be fucking trusted. And of course,
It's like your dick knows you're wearing pants. Oh, look at that. Well, that shit is ruined. Well, looks like that dumb bitch Maggie and her kid are just gonna die anyway.
Yeah, aren't you glad you left this guy alive?
Just like you two.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, honey, no, you're not.
And someone else will. There's too many of us.
See, that's where we differ. So I take the two of you with me, then I got one hell of an insurance policy. So why don't you put that thing down, unless you're gonna shoot through this beautiful man here. I'm not gonna ask you again.
I think she's gonna shoot you.
Listening to talkers makes me thirsty. If any more words come pouring out your cunt mouth,
Not for long.
I'm gonna have to eat every fucking chicken in this room.
You really wanna risk it, huh? Me for him? I can tell you right now that I am not worth it. Let's work this out. And I may talk a big game, like I'm a tough guy, but I'm not. I really just want to...
And they knock him out instead of killing him. Fuck it. Coming out this Christmas, the luxury hardcover, The Walking Dead, the speeches. But the whole point of the speeches last week was saying it's not about revenge. So, yeah, and anyways, so they find a way out. Jesus needs, or get some dead. We see some dead folks on the ground, and Morgan's just laying with the dead folks. And oh no, he's faking, and he looks up at a dead guy. And this literally was my favorite part of the episode coming up right here. Morgan waking up and looking at the dead guy's face with the guy's dead and has a almost half smile on his face. And Morgan just looking up, and then here we go, crazy music, and Morgan can't die. Psycho Morgan time. Favorite part of this episode was Morgan. Lenny James killed it tonight. This was maybe one of my favorite Morgan moments. Just like him going nut ass crazy. Reminded me a lot of Carol in the episode with the wolves and shit, and just going around just like Wolverine killing people. No account for anything. I love it. Jimmy's like, love you, Phil, but this episode was awful. Every Ezekiel speech, I'm hoping someone smacks him in his head like fucking Theon. And thank you, Timo. I just kept thinking about the Hound in that moment, telling him to shut the fuck up. So then they find a way out, and Morgan can't die. So then Daryl heads into the room, and we get some fake tension build up with a good shadow shot of Daryl. He looks around, sees some food, sees a cell that looks similar to the cell he was in. Easy Street needs to play in the back of his head right now. It's Easy Street. Awesome, Broke. I'll be playing those fucking voicemails at the end of the show from Broke and Jay. If anyone else wants to get their voicemail or text in, you can leave them at 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. We'll get to that after the recap's over and get to all the calls and text we get tonight. Great to see BBM in the live motherfucking chat. So then we cut over to a shot of Rick walking down the hallway for the... Okay, was this his Timo said this in the chat, and I agree. His poster shot, but this was a really well lit, awesome visual shot. It's one of the examples of why I think like where The Walking Dead can be really cool. It's not about substance at all. It's style over substance, and I think when they go that route, again, that's a better look for The Walking Dead rather than getting deep substancy. And I thought just from a simple like visual standpoint, Rick looked really cool in this episode. Walking down the dark hallway, and then we see all sweaty and grimy Grimes there as he heads into a room where he sees a made bed. I want a nap. And then he heads over out and under, and he gets tackled and gets in some fist fight with this dude. That's a really fucking awesome fight. I don't know, I just enjoyed that. Kept waiting for him to bite the dude. He chokes the dude, but the guy says no guns, backs him off. Rick puts him in the sleeper hold, and he gets down until he spots a spit, and he feels like some rotisserie chicken. So he throws the dude on the fucking spit. And fucking... yeah, I mean, I would not want that to happen to me or someone I loved or someone real, but from a fucking in The Walking Dead, that's fucking fun. That's what I'm talking about. Rick throwing some dude on a random rotisserie thing, wrestling him in a fucking silly scene that comes off this over-stylistic shot of him walking down a hallway. That is what The Walking Dead does well. It's just a visual cool thing. And Timo says best scene in the episode for me. Yes. Was that supposed to surprise us, the Morgan dead, or was that part of his plan? I don't know. I feel like it was a little convoluted in the episode. I think as much as I'm crediting the episode for bouncing around a lot, not the benefit, or I mean the negating effect of that is sometimes it yada yada is like, what just happened? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I had a couple of moments like that, especially trying to take notes and watch at the same time. I was like, well, where are we? What's going on here? And it was like a frantic kind of pace. And Super Mario Pro, great to see you in the live motherfucking chat. So he chokes some dude, and then we see a flash over to crazy Morgan shooting dudes, taking names. We see a flashback to Rick when his shirt was white, and when he moves on, then we go over to Jesus and Tara, and let's listen to that for a second. Let's see what that is.
Hold your fire.
What?
They're gonna give up. We only fire if...
I love that one.
Hold your fire.
What?
But hold your fire.
What?
They're gonna give up. We only fire if they fire first.
What? It's a bash, huh? What? We're in a war, okay? We're in a war against people that really legitimately want to fucking kill you, and they've done horrible things to you. Not just Negan, like all these people have horrible. And what did you say again? Well, could you tell me that one more time?
Give up. We only... Hold your fire.
What?
They're gonna give up. We only fire if they fire first.
They fire first, one of us dies.
You can try to stop me.
Okay, so I think this is kind of a funny scene where one guy versus the army, and the dude's like, I'm not stupid. I'm fucking going. And I agree with this. This one, unlike the other group, I'm kind of having fun. I'm joking a little bit. Unlike these guys, like I get maybe, but where are you going to keep these fucking prisoners, dude? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm bloodthirsty, I guess. I wouldn't have executed them, but... I wouldn't execute them, but I would tie them all up and stick a bunch of walkers on them and walk away. That's all I'm saying. Phil's a... K-Rich, Critch, Phil's a talker. Talkers make K-Rich, Critch thirsty, so Critch gets a spin of the wheel. Thank you to Critch and Timo and all of our Super Chat donators and all the people that support the channel. You guys are fucking amazing, and as always, I say this a lot, but can't say it enough. It keeps me going with this. So let me spin this fucking wheel. No whammies. Don't give me any whammies. And thank you so much. Drum fun. It's a little late for some drum fun, but let me see if I can do some quiet drumming here for a second while I finish this section. So then Jesus and Tara like, what? And the whole army's like, dude, what? And they're like, we're going to surrender. We're not stupid. It's stupid. We're not stupid. Scroll down. Let me scroll down to the next section before I do and get some shit. Get some shit. So back over to Morgan going Rambo. Morgan's running around Ramboing people. The light, but eventually... Sorry, but, so... The flip flyer sick body of the sick sensation of humanity is drowning off the uniformed societal woes. Never before has my society dragged my balls across my chin. And then I'm drunk on the skunk weed sandwich. Flip up, Morgan. Morgan's running around. I loved in this scene how Morgan... Okay, I'm gonna stop that. How Morgan was running around and people were like running from him like he's Freddy Jason and shit. He's just, he's running through. And he keeps running and running and running, and eventually he comes out, and the light is his weakness. And he sees Jesus and crew not killing people, and he's like, Morgan's like, dudes, what are you doing? It's time to go clear. Like, why are we not killing people here? And he kind of gives them a what the fuck kind of vibe. You should be the head of The Walking Dead's music. Here we go. Let him go. He's honestly not a bad tactic, but find someone to do the job better. So Morgan's like, listen, let me kill the fucker. We're at war. We're not supposed to do this. And she's like, they're surrendered. And Morgan's like, they're bad guys. What are we going to do? We do nothing. We do nothing. So we're back, and Rick is checking out the dude in the next, and checking out the next room he's walking through. We see the Lion of Lannister symbol on the wall, and we see a baby in a mobile and a cradle. And yeah, these saviors got kids too. And Rick can't stop. And I think this is a credit to Andrew Lincoln as an actor. I thought this performance in this moment was really good because he did this all without having to say a word. You could just feel everything, like feel a progression of a scene without having to say anything. And he gave this progression of, oh, there's a baby, to, oh, this baby, I don't want to fucking think about this, to, I can't think about this, I got to go kill people. And it was just this really fun kind of like stuff. And I thought, if you want to do this morality play stuff, I said this earlier and I'm going to say it again. If you want to do these morality fucking things, this is how you do it right. You don't do it right by having Jesus be stupid all of a sudden and say like stupid things. He was a Johnny, what was the guy's name? Mo Green. Mo Green was a stupid man. He was saying stupid things. He was going to get himself killed. Like you just don't do that. Like, I don't know. But yeah, we did see the Lion of Lannister. And he looks into the mirror. And I just thought this scene, for the most part, was just so much better than the Jesus Tara stuff, trying to do a similar thing. And I think it could have just been left at that. You didn't have to hammer it in that these are people too. You know, you have to rely. Just do that in the scene where Jesus is like, no, let's keep this army of people alive. You didn't need the single scene with the idiot guy, the piss your pants guy that should have been fucking killed. Anyways, I also, it's like rain and stormy today, so my DVR cut off, so I ended up missing a little bit of the episode. So if I'm missing a little part of it, I'm sorry, when our savior girl got killed, I believe. So we go off to Carol and Ezekiel, following some tracks, and Carol leading the way. And Ezekiel is doing his Ezekiel shit and going, thou art your mother. And
our friends have arrived.
As we see Shiva jumping on some dude and attacking. So we see more gunfights as Aaron's boyfriend looks exhausted or something's wrong. Then Aaron goes on this fucking kick-ass little moment where he's in trouble, heads over, gets cover, goes over, has a fight with the mini boss, and ends up getting behind, and he sees Eric bleeding out. So Eric's in some major danger. And Timo says, slowly, fucking yay, another one bites the dust. How many Alexandrians can we lose? Please, come on, Eric, die. Slowly but surely, we're weeding out all the pussies of Alexandria. So hopefully we can get our badass survivor group back fucking together. And you know what, Timo? I'm fucking with you.
It's Timo's Red of the Night. It's Timo's Red of the Night.
Ezekiel. Fuck Ezekiel. Fuck Ezekiel.
It's Timo's Red of the Night. It's Timo's Red of the Night.
Fuck Ezekiel.
It's Timo's Red of the Night.
No, thank you, Super Mario. Fuck Ezekiel. Fuck Ezekiel. Fuck him in his fuck. Fuck his dreadlock. Fuck his fuck. Fuck you and your thou art shit. Eating a motherfucking Timo's dick. Eat a giant pack of Timo's dick. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, yeah, Ezekiel, go fuck yourself. Jesus fires senselessly into the sanctuary and could hit random innocent people, but won't kill those people, says Broke. So, okay, so we get a cereal commercial too for The Walking Dead. And then we get Burger King Spice Burger King commercial. Haha. Oh, whatever I said something about the Burger King commercial being funny. Whatever. So then we see, Daryl's new season of Daryl with drinking coffee on motorcycles is coming back to AMC. So then we get my favorite part of the entire episode, Ezekiel's victory speech.
There it is. Our certain victory. This, I am not glad for his death. For anyone's.
I know.
So Ezekiel gives a little speech, and Carol gives him the "I want your hot bod" vibe. And we go back to Rick looking around, and he's at gunpoint, and someone says, "Turn around slowly, motherfucker." And we see that it's Morales from season 1. Now, if people don't remember who Morales was, he was the guy that I believe right before they went to the CJ, to see Brenner and all of that, he didn't want to go with them, and Rick gave him a gun and a walkie-talkie and said, "Be on your way," or something like that. People in the live chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the last time we saw Morales. It was back in like season 1. Something like that. And Rick flashes through his memories to try to like pinpoint the name, does that sort of mental Rolodex sort of thing where he's like, what's your fucking name? Morales, I know you, I remember you, and try to tell the audience like who this fucking guy is. He called the Saviors, and they're coming, and you're fucked. So, but at this point, Rick sends off a mind meld, goes, do, 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 do. It's time to get surreal, and we connect back to the beginning part of the episode. Not surreal, it's time to get deep. Or whatever, or just try to build it as more of a sum of the parts than I think it really has to be here. And we do the mind meld with Daryl to Aaron to all the close-ups that we started the episode, and the expression on Morgan's face, who just looks like they got a weird take on Lenny James, who just doesn't look like he's giving a shit right there. Jesus and Tara and Ezekiel and fucking Gumby and Pokey and fucking Gollum and Carol and Braun and Tyrion, and she gets a smile, and Rick with scary eyes, and Morales cocks the gun, and that is our fucking end of our episode. Will Rick survive? Will Eric maintain? Will he die? All these questions and more next week on The Walking Dead, and on our recap afterwards with the return of Joe Dirty Locks to talk about a little bit about this episode as well. So that is our episode. And yes, the CDC. Thank you, Brooke. I couldn't think of CDC for some. I couldn't think of seedy. It's so fucking seedy. So let's get to our voicemail. I think we have 3 voicemails. Awesome. So let's play them in the order in which they were received.
I'm gonna play your voicemails in the order of which they were received.
So our first up is our good buddy Jay. So lots of love. If anyone else wants to get their calls or texts in right now, have a specific question, I'll also be looking in the live motherfucking chat. Now's the time, 781-990-8509 to get any last-minute questions or comments about this episode of The Walking Dead in. And as usual, thank you to everyone that's been joining in the live motherfucking chat. I have so much fun getting to talk to you guys, and it's been a little while since I did a little alone podcast too. So I'm very excited to be able to Babblefest 97 to you guys. Babblefest 97. In 1997, I talked a lot. I don't fucking know what the fuck it means. For some reason, after the word fest, I always add 97. It doesn't make sense. It's not rational. It doesn't make shitload of fuck, but Another AVGN comment. It's just a shitload of fuck. Listen to what Jay has to say. Cheer me up, Jay.
I'd just like to rebut your last point. You may have a point about
I like
some shows, but I mean, if I take Game of Thrones, that could have more seasons because I think there could have been like 2 or 3 seasons per book because the books are so freaking thick. And also, you're not gonna. I mean, if the origin story had a conclusion that it was going to, where it was like, oh, this is what happens at the end of the Walking Dead comic, then I'd agree with you. But I believe the Walking Dead comic is still going on now, and like will still be going on like when this season ends. So in order for the TV show, which is based off the comic, to get to that conclusion, the comic would have to get to that conclusion. So that's why it's not getting there. And also, why would AMC give up its cash cow? Like I also blame I blame HBO more than I blame Dan and Dave for Game of Thrones, because HBO should have forced Dan and Dave to do 100 episodes. They should have put like, we are your bosses. We are forcing you to do these episodes.
And I'll play the rest of your message. I just didn't want to forget your comments. The first part about the Walking Dead ending comic. Comic's a different sort of medium where it can kind of go on forever like that. I think a television show, unfortunately, does need to reach an end game of some sort. But I definitely hear what you're saying there, where it's like they don't really know where to end this fucking thing because, excuse me, the source material just doesn't ever want to end. It's just going to exist forever because comics can kind of do that in some way. But, and I love your point. I'm going to rewind that a little bit so you can get your full second point in there. So let me rewind Jay's call a little bit and play the rest.
HBO should have forced Dan and Dave to do 100 episodes. They should have put like, we are your bosses. We are forcing you to do these episodes. I don't care if you don't want to do them anymore. You're under contract. We will sue you for everything you got, and we will leave you with nothing. That's what they should have done. So AMC is like, we got a cash cow. We want to make money. We're going to continue to make money off of this. And the reason it keeps working is because, unlike me, all you guys keep watching. All right, later.
Jay's like, peace. I don't even fucking watch this shit. I'm fucking out. And in fairness, I do think eventually if it just keeps going down, I don't think it's going to be like Fox with The Simpsons. I think it will eventually reach an end date at some point. Nick Diaz asks, do you think that Mr. Joe Dirtylocks actually enjoyed this episode for once? And what do you personally feel will eventually win him over? I don't know. It's tough. The Walking Dead hurt him in a way. He used to defend the show to me when it first started and I was first into it at times. So I think for him to get back into it, I think he probably enjoyed this episode more than the first episode, if I'm willing to guess. I don't know if Joe happens to be out there anywhere listening, but if you are, Joe, definitely call in and leave a voicemail or text me and let me know, and I will find a way to tap you into the live chat right now. But if not, we will find out next week. What do I think could characters not being ridiculously stupid and stupid moves showing hardcore outcomes, I think would please Joe. Since we're doing Angry Video Game Nerd references, what were they thinking moment with the writer staff? That's an easy one, and it's an over said one. Not killing Glenn in the dumpster thing, because I think that was so well done. If you leave it just in that moment, and you have him die right there, it was a very well done scene. I'm trying to think what other what were they thinking? But I think ultimately the dumpster thing, they outthought themselves there in that situation. It's an easy cliche kind of answer at this point, but it really is the most accurate answer to that question, Nick. So and maybe it's me, maybe it's somewhere deep inside of me, but as Timo said, and I agree, and I've said many times, I feel like for my interest, the show hasn't necessarily gotten back to the point that they were right before that. I think right before that, to me, is like the peak around the terminus time or whatever. Like they started to get to a really interesting point, and then it it just sort of hit their roadblock. And it's hard to track it down to that one point, but it's a good watershed moment. This is from area code 810. Area code 810.
So to the question about Rick's fate. In this new world of media, the network would probably just let him live, but I want to put a twist into a character people might just kill off. How I want to see the ending to The Walking Dead would be having Rick and Jesus being the last people to survive. As the country is slowly dying from zombies, we can see Rick and Jesus grow older and build kind of like a new society as they are the last two people they know on Earth. We could see Rick slowly dying and changing as a man, but this is the plot twist. Jesus will live. In the world of the dead, the second coming of Christ will come, but now alone. Alone from the sinners.
Let's play a little music for that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's The Walking Dead. At least it's something, dude. At least it's something. SM says, Glenn was skinny enough. He could have made it out that dumpster. Nick asks, Negan, Terminus Peeps, Governor, Shane, who's been your favorite villain? I think in the moment of when it was used, I really liked the Terminus thing. I thought it felt me with a lot of dread. I mentioned him a lot, too. I also thought the Claimers in the brief role were done really well as an antagonist. I think the Governor had his moments, and I think the performance was well done. I think it was written kind of weak, and I think the second time was better than the first time, but it never should have been two times. Who else did you have on that list? Shane. I think Shane was effective, but it's a different sort of universe. And I think Shane would probably be my second if I'm including him as a villain or an antagonist to Rick. I like John Barenthal's performance as Shane, and I felt like it added a sense of like an extra edge to the show at times as well. But so I would say I think the Terminus thing was handled really well because it was shocking. It took me off guard and really felt creepy and weird. And I felt at the most in danger for our characters at a point in time. But Shane was fucking awesome too. So let's continue. I think we have one more voicemail right now from Broke Black Man 94. Let's play it.
Hey Phil, Broke Black Man 94 here. For starters, fuck Rosita. You know I gotta start it off with that. But like this episode, not gonna lie, probably gonna lie later on though, but it was better than last week's episode by far. Like last week I gave like a 4 out of 10. This week 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 tops or so, but it was more entertaining, you know. We got more of, you know, Morgan, you know, flashing back to this point where he was kind of, you know, human instead of being on the deep end. But it's like, if he was still like Morgan off the deep end, he wouldn't care what the hell Jesus told him. He simply could have just, you know, hit him with a stick or just freaking just pistol whip him and then just shot the freaking savior. But he ended up doing that.
Yeah, and I'm going to play the rest of your message. He showed some sense of control there, or understanding. And that's what makes Morgan so scary right now as a fucking Terminator-like creature. And I said it in passing earlier. He came off very Freddy Jason, stalker, just crazy machine of killing in this episode. And if he can focus that, we always talked about that. If he could mesh the clear with the mindset he has right now, or with the sensible Morgan. It's like when Banner can kind of organize his mind and have the Banner mind inside the Hulk. Was it the Red Hulk or whatever? I forget which Hulk it is. Like the Hulk when he's allowed to have when he has Banner's mind. It's a good talent to have.
So I don't know.
Lola, great to see Lola from Poland in the live motherfucking chat. And I'm definitely gonna play the rest of Brooke's message. Nick says, "I'm surprised no one else asked this, but what do you expect out of the Negan-centric episode? Should we begin the funeral services or Gabriel?" Just to answer that quickly before I play the rest of Brooke's message, I think we're going to get a long, detailed, one-on-one bottle episode with Negan and Gabriel in there together. It's going to be like maybe a couple of other flashpoints, probably not sorely on that, but like one other two locations. But the main focus of an episode, it's not going to be next week, but probably the episode after that, it's going to be a Negan and Gabriel monologue fest with the two of them.
Could be a chance where Morgan could just like slip back to the humanity side, but then again, in the trailer we did see Morgan, going one-on-one with Jesus, so let's see how that plays out. But like, let's talk about Jesus for a second. It's like this episode, he basically won the dumbass award. Last week it was Gabriel, and now it's Jesus. Even after the fact the guy, Savior, was admitted like he was pretending to pee on himself, that he was really going to just turn the tables on them, he was still like, nah, let's just, tie him up, make him a prisoner, just like the others. I'm like, really? Tara was actually the smart one. For all those who had the Tara hate, well, look at John now. It's like Tara was actually vital in this damn episode. It's like telling them the deal.
It was so fucking crazy. I don't want to interrupt Broke's flow because he's fucking killing it right now. But fucking A, dude. I just want to say A fucking meant everything you're saying right now. Timo says, wish we had a Negan scene though. Looking forward to a Negan bottle episode. Tari says, it's a preview for next week's episode. The guy taunting Morgan while being held in prisoner. Red Hulk is General Rojas. World War Hulk. Negan, is there a villain you don't want to fuck? As Timo, as he asks Timo, is there a villain you don't want to fuck? Do you have any heroes locked in your basement?
But like Morales, he's back. I know probably, people are like, oh, well, they're just redoing the whole thing with kind of like a Merle, and they brought him back, whatever. But then again, Merle, we didn't see a dead body. We saw a hand, but that's about it. But we never even saw like freaking dead Morales, he was just the one who we just thought that he could have been dead or not. So, but damn. Another thing is, I'm not surprised we're not even going to get Negan, because even like last season, we got Negan in the first episode, but we didn't get him back until episode 3 or 4. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just like put him out to like episode 6 or 7 or so, because it's like they're saving it for his origin story with Gabriel. That's like it's no, just like with the Governor, we saw his own standalone episode in like the next season. So that's what I gotta say.
Great stuff from Broke right there. And I think you're right, Broke. I think that Negan-centric episode that we're going to get in episode, we're in 2. So I think episode 5, I think you're right there. It'll be episode 5, maybe even 6. It depends. I think we're going to get next week's episode, we're going to see more of Maggie, and the Hilltop stuff is going to be introduced more into the situation from what we've seen in the previews, but a continuation of the storylines that we're going right here with this particular attack. I wonder... It's a good question when they're going to bring Negan and the Gabriel storyline back into focus, and as they're playing with time and doing all of that stuff. Nick says, I was surprised that Morales was still alive, but this also makes me think the Vatos, what happened to their community, the old age community. You can see anyone from that group in the future. I hope so. That was a very interesting aspect of season 1 as we saw different groups. It was when we were excited to see different groups, and it was surprising as well. Now it's a little solution for poopies. Mesha soupy sa poopies? I don't know. Phil, I don't know what you're talking about. Phil, that sounded pretty stupid. Well, I never said I wasn't stupid, weird personality traits. Dumbasses. So let's take a couple more questions in the live chat and then end this Walking Dead discussion. And Lola asked where Joe is. Joe, unfortunately, has to work every other Sunday. He got all the Game of Thrones Sundays off, but he can't do that for The Walking Dead as well. He's like, yeah, I can do it. I'll do it for Game of Thrones. Like, I'll call out every fucking Sunday or switch my work schedule, but it's too hard to do for The Walking Dead as well. So he's going to be joining us every other week. So I did want to announce this as well right now. Joe will be back next week, but the following week, which I believe will be the 12th, November 12th. As of now, it might change to a later week depending on availability, but as of right now, I will have a guest host the next alternate Joe week, and Tony Teflon will be joining me on November 12th to recap and review The Walking Dead. So really excited to talk to Tony about The Walking Dead. I think I've ever talked to Tony or heard him talk too much about The Walking Dead, but I asked him if he'd be into doing a recap show, and he's down. So he's going to probably be joining us on the 12th, and then Joe will be back, and then the following week after that, we'll have The Walking David on. David and I will also be on soon to talk about Curb Your Enthusiasm, so there'll be a couple other things coming up soon as well. So the next 2 weeks of The Walking Dead recaps, we'll have Joe and then Tony on the following week. So let's go. Broke says, where the fuck are the garbage pail people? Like, yeah, I agree. We dealt with so much of them last year. Where the fuck are the garbage pail people? What the fuck? Lola says, I don't know what is going on with The Walking Dead, but I enjoy it. But I don't enjoy it anymore the last 2 seasons. I agree, Lola. I don't know what it was necessarily, but some magic that it had has withered away to a lot of people, and it's just hard to pinpoint, and it's hard to verbalize exactly what it is. But the writing, the dialogue, everything has fallen short. And the acting's still good, and I think some of the action still works when it's shot well. But even some of the visuals are inconsistent, especially last season. Some of the special effects were bad, I'm blanking on it, but I have a couple of spots in my mind where it was like, oh, that was done pretty poorly. But I think visually this season a little bit of an improvement from season 7, and I think in general it is an improvement from season 7 in these first 2 episodes. But it's still there's still something missing for me. And that's not to say, like we're talking about scores for this episode. I would give this episode like a 7.5 or something for The Walking Dead, like within the universe. I enjoyed it. Not seeing Morales. Timo says, not seeing Morales. Whoa, fuck. Not. Scott Gimple on last week's Talking Dead mentioned that there's going to be a crossover next year with the Fear the Walking Dead. Who do you think it's going to be? Some people assume it's going to be Abraham. I've heard that. I definitely think it's going to be Abraham. I don't watch Fear the Walking Dead, so I'm not sure who they'd have come over from Fear the Walking Dead, but I assume it would be the main character. And we got Nymeria in the live motherfucking chat. Great to see you, Nymeria. Lots of love to you. And lots of love to Curb Iron. Yeah, Walking David and I are going to do Curb after 5, and then after the season finale as well. And I'll also be back pretty soon to do some more Star Trek stuff as well. And Timo says, this fucking sucks. My job has me working every Sunday and Monday for now in November. I'll miss all the recaps. The Walking Dead isn't important to call out for his sorry, Phil. Yeah, that's the same thing for Joe. Joe's like, The Walking Dead isn't important enough to call out for. But Timo, I really love that you're jumping on in anyway. And we also have Vikings coming at the end of November that we're going to be talking about. And hopefully we'll have some special guests for Vikings. Hopefully going to have Nick on an episode of Vikings recap, and also have King McKay on an episode of the Vikings recap for that coming up soon as well, somewhere in the season, or maybe after the season have a big roundtable discussion about Vikings or something like that. I'm not sure how that's going to manifest itself, but I can't wait to get back to that show and see how it's going to work. Sans somebody. So let me do this. Let me do this right now. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me for the Walking Dead recap. I'm not really finishing right now. Everyone, you guys have been fucking amazing. Don't go anywhere if you want to see some extra babble. So, everyone, you guys have been amazing this week. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to the audio podcast, please give us some feedback and ratings and all of that stuff. It helps get the podcast out there more. Let me get my fucking stupid face on the screen. Make sure if you're shopping on Amazon, you start your Amazon shopping with our link. It helps us a very little bit, but definitely helps out. You can also become a patron to get some access to some special extra content and extra fun. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us. You forgot about me and me.
What about me, Phil?
I don't know. What about all of you? I forgot all those people, but they're all very, very thankful too. So everyone, thank you so much. I will be back next week with Joe Dirty Locks to talk about The Walking Dead. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, that's done with that. Okay, now the after show can start. I'm not quite ready to go yet. I still have a full beer almost to finish. I have more things to talk about, more silliness to go through. So the Walking Dead recap is over. I might end up cutting it at this particular point in the future. So if you're watching this right now, this might be the only time you ever get to watch this.